When it comes to localizers, you can't trust them. Unfortunately, over the past few years, we have seen so many amazing products be absolutely butchered by these individuals, but now fan translators on social media are actually mocking people who simply want faithful translations. I have a few different things that I want to show off, but before we get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, follow me on social media, and consider supporting through Patreon or via YouTube memberships. So I wanted to start off with this Niche Gamer article. It says fan translators have begun showing they bear little difference from official localizers, as a Twitter user recently revealed what they think about people who want faithful translations. Now, of course, when I am purchasing a product that's from, say, Japanese developers, and you have someone who has to translate it and ultimately localize it, yes, I want it to be as close to that original piece of material as possible. And obviously, there are times where things cannot be an exact one-to-one. But if it's at least like a 90 or a 95% rating, that's fine for me. That's close enough. But unfortunately, we have so many localizers that are running rampant through the anime industry and also the video game industry, who are making the changes that they deem necessary, that they think will protect people and create a better product, which ultimately is not what people want. And instead of actually just respecting the fact that there are people out there who want faithful translations, or at least ones that are pretty close to the original content, they are now mocking anybody who is saying that this is not what they want. It says a short conversation between two fan translators was found on social media, with both of them ridiculing those who want accurate fan translations due to official localizations, often including both inaccuracies and insertion of irrelevant jokes or even politics. Now, these are two random individuals online who are fan translators, but it does not matter, because we have seen this attitude happen so often with translators who are being hired by companies, people who are making their way in the industry. I've talked many times about localizers on this channel, and I'm sure you all know Katrina Translator, who is an individual on social media who has recently worked on some of the Persona games, and they are known for making extremely controversial changes in the projects they work on, and they really don't care. I mean, they boast about it on social media all of the time, and it's just so sad to see this happen time and time again, even by people who are not, part of larger projects, but who want to be. These are the types of people that are being drawn into these jobs. So it says translation patchers are completely indiscernible from professional translators now. I can't tell if they're using this stuff as a resume for a real job, or if Japanese to English translators are just all extremely smug and disrespectful. Somebody said, I have included a few silly nods to Samurai Showdown's history of questionable localization. Some will like them, others won't. They will cope. And Burn Tens said, I occasionally snuck silly lines into my projects. The purists will survive the trauma. They will be fine. And they're just proving our point that localizers are, just generally garbage people making changes to content they didn't create. Bread makes you fat. I'm not getting fat. You're just a big jerk. It's like how we see changes in localizations to terms like gendered language, and of course you have all of the dialogue that a character would say to a female that they do not like, and all of those mean words, as they'd call them, would be changed to silly things like this, because these are not, the worst of the examples, right? Calling someone a big fat jerk instead of, a swear, but at the same time, it's just so ridiculous. Given such purists are also the sort who think imposing Japanese sentence structure on/including Romanized Japanese words in localized text is more accurate, their opinions can and should be discounted. No, our opinions should not be discounted because we are the people who are paying for products that could ultimately make you successful. That is how you have to view it, is that you are the individual who is paying for content. You should be getting the content you want or the content that you expect. But instead, these individuals are doubling and tripling down, just saying that you're a terrible person if you do not respect localizers. But localizers over the years have not given us any reasons to actually trust them because of all of the changes that they have made. I mean, one of the most egregious examples, which I've shown many times on the channel, is an old interview revealed Skies of Arcadia dialogue was completely rewritten. This fan favorite title of this game that released in 2000, and we only just a few years ago found out that it was actually butchered from the very start. An old interview was resurfaced on social media as it involves a translator for the classic title Skies of Arcadia, Eternal Arcadia, admitting they merely did a rough translation of the game before throwing out the rest of the Japanese text and ad-libbing as they saw fit, a pure example of why many hate localizers and demonstrating that the problem has existed for decades. This was such a terrible thing to hear because so many people absolutely love this title, but when you find out that it was basically butchered from the very beginning and you don't know the original vision of the original creatives, it just makes you feel filled with this sense of dread. Like, what other content have I been consuming for years that I absolutely loved that was completely butchered from the very start? Of course, then we had in the beginning of 2023, a localizer was bragging about horribly westernized and inaccurate anime translations, and guess who it is? Katrina Translator. Western localizers have once again been caught doing questionable translations for anime, as a certain familiar suspect has not only been inserting absurd Western phrases into their work, but also has been bragging about doing so and serving as the epitome of what is wrong with translation in the West. This individual said that, oh, this is their best work, even though they're drastically different pieces of dialogue. And they also said, this may surprise you, but I love this material. And straight up saying, if you do not agree with the changes that they have made, then the translation is not for you and you are not the intended audience. You can't just say that to consumers. You are pushing away potentially hundreds to thousands of purchases, but they do not care. And then we also have this individual who was chosen as the Persona Xbox and PC port localization coordinator. It's just so sad to see so many of these individuals getting these high position jobs at these companies like Atlas. It's just sad to see this happen time and time again. And even though these fan translators who are, on Twitter basically attacking anybody who want faithful translations, even though they are not part of any large projects like this, they are still being pulled into the industry. And judging by the fact that people like Katrina Translator are getting jobs, it would be no surprise if these individuals who do not care about faithful or accurate translations would also be following in their footsteps. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this and of course found it important and informative, make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.